The crystalline spires of the Galactic Council chamber stretched toward the twin suns of Nexus Prime, their surfaces refracting rainbow light across the assembled delegates. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of the vast amphitheater, her simple blue diplomatic uniform a stark contrast to the elaborate biomechanical forms surrounding her. The weight of humanity's future pressed upon her shoulders as thousands of alien eyes fixed upon her small frame. High Chancellor Vexthal, a towering creature of living metal and pulsing energy, raised one of his 6 arms to silence the chamber. His voice resonated through quantum translators, carrying the disdain that had become all too familiar to human ears over the past decade. "The matter before us today," Vexthal announced, his words dripping with contempt, "concerns the petition of the species calling itself humanity for full membership in this esteemed council." A ripple of what could only be described as cosmic laughter echoed through the chamber. A species so primitive they still use chemical propulsion, so violent they wage war upon their own kind, so short-lived they barely exist long enough to comprehend the vastness of space. Ambassador Rodriguez felt her jaw tighten, but she maintained her composure. She had anticipated this moment for months, knowing that humanity's reputation preceded them into every corner of the galaxy. Earth was seen as a backwater world, its inhabitants as little more than clever animals who had somehow stumbled into space travel. "Furthermore," continued Vexthal, gesturing dramatically, "these humans possess no natural telepathic abilities, no energy manipulation powers, no extended lifespans. They are biological creatures trapped in fragile shells of flesh and bone. What could such primitive beings possibly contribute to a council that spans 3 million worlds and 47 dimensions?" The chamber erupted in a cacophony of agreement. Crystalline beings chimed in harmonious discord, gaseous entities pulsed with approving colors, and mechanical delegates clicked their approval in synchronized patterns. Rodriguez had heard it all before, but never so publicly, never with such calculated cruelty. When the noise finally subsided, Vexthal fixed his multifaceted gaze upon her. "Ambassador Rodriguez, you may present humanity's pathetic case, though I suspect we all know how this will end." Elena Rodriguez stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. She had spent her entire career preparing for this moment, studying not just diplomacy but the histories of every species in the council. She knew their strengths, their achievements, their pride. She also knew their weaknesses. "Honored delegates," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustics. "You speak of humanity's limitations as if they were failures. You mock our short lives, our chemical propulsion, our lack of natural powers. But you have fundamentally misunderstood what makes us dangerous." A hush fell over the assembly. The word dangerous had not been expected from a species seeking admission. "You live for millennia, which makes you cautious. We live for decades, which makes us desperate. You travel through folded space and quantum tunnels, which makes you comfortable. We crawl through the void on pillars of fire, which makes us determined. You manipulate reality with thought alone, which makes you complacent. We reshape entire worlds with our bare hands, which makes us unstoppable." Rodriguez began to pace, her voice growing stronger with each word. "In the mere century since we left our homeworld, we have colonized 47 star systems. Not through conquest, but through sheer, stubborn refusal to accept limitations. While you deliberate for decades, we act in moments. While you consider the impossibility of a task, we have already begun attempting it." She paused, letting her words sink in before delivering the blow that would echo across the galaxy. "You see our mortality as weakness, but it is our greatest strength. Every human knows they will die, and this knowledge drives us to attempt the impossible. We don't have the luxury of eternal time to perfect our methods. We have only decades to leave our mark on the universe, and this urgency has driven us to achievements that astonish even ourselves." The chamber was dead silent now, the alien delegates hanging on her every word. "You ask what humanity can contribute to your council? We offer you something none of your species possess. The absolute certainty that when the universe itself faces extinction, when the last stars burn out and reality crumbles, humans will be there, working frantically against impossible odds to find a solution. Not because we're noble or wise, but because we're too stubborn to accept that anything is truly impossible. Ambassador Rodriguez straightened her shoulders and delivered her final words with quiet intensity. We may be short-lived, primitive, and limited by flesh, but we are the species that looked at the vastness of space and said, "We'll take it all." We are the children of a world that tried to kill us every day for millions of years, and we loved it anyway. We are humanity, and we bow to no one. The silence that followed was absolute, stretching across species and dimensions. Then, slowly, Vexthal began what his people called the deep resonance, a sound of profound respect that had not been heard in the council chambers for over 1,000 years. Humanity had found its place among the stars.